So today, we're diving into a report that says we need to completely change how we value, manage, and, even think about water. It's a resource we all kind of take for granted, but our entire global system, literally everything, depends on us getting this right. I mean, that sounds pretty wild, doesn't it? How on earth can a drought in a South American rainforest mean less rain for farms thousands of miles away? And get this isn't some crazy hypothetical. It's the reality of how our global water system actually works. And figuring out why is the key to solving a crisis we've been getting wrong for decades. And that really gets to the heart of what this report is saying. Our narrow, localized view of water has led us down a really dangerous path. We've totally failed to see the big picture, and now the consequences are showing up as massive floods, devastating droughts, and a global system that's starting to feel pretty unstable. All right, so to figure out the way forward, we first got to understand the broken thinking that got us into this mess in the first place. So on the one side, you've got our old model. We treat water like it's just a local thing, something you find in rivers and lakes, something to be managed in its own little box. But the reality on the other side is that water is this vast, interconnected global system. It's an invisible cycle that literally connects continents and props up our entire climate and economy. That mismatch, that's the root of the crisis. Okay, so let's pull back the curtain on this hidden network, because this is where our whole understanding of water needs a serious update. The first huge idea you've got to wrap your head around is this distinction. We all know blue water, right? It's the stuff we can see in rivers, lakes, you name it. But the real game changer is green water. This is the invisible moisture that's held in the soil and released by plants and trees. For the most part, we've totally ignored it in our policies, and wow, that's been a huge mistake. And the scale of this is just staggering. About half of all the rain that falls on land doesn't come from the oceans. It comes from this green water cycle, moisture evaporating from forests, from soil, from farms. It's an absolutely enormous part of the system that we just haven't been paying attention to. And boom, that brings us right back to that wild question we started with. When a massive forest like the Amazon gets cut down, it releases way less of that green water into the air. So those atmospheric rivers of moisture get weaker, and places that depend on them, even continents away, can see less rain. Our local choices have truly global consequences. So all of this leads the report to a pretty radical conclusion. We have to start treating the entire water cycle, both the visible blue water and the invisible green water, as a shared global resource. Just like we think about the atmosphere, its stability is absolutely essential for all of us. Look, sticking with this old, broken model isn't just inefficient, it's costing us big time. It's carrying a massive and growing price tag for our economies, our societies, and the planet. And to put into perspective just how big a deal this is, the Commission places its work right alongside two other landmark reports. You had the Stern Review, which totally changed how we talk about the economics of climate, and the Dasgupta Review, which did the same thing for biodiversity. This new report on water is being framed as the third critical piece of that exact same puzzle. Because, let's be real, we've all become acutely aware of the climate crisis. And we're definitely starting to get our heads around the biodiversity crisis. But here's the kicker the report makes. These are not separate issues. The water crisis is a driver of both. You simply cannot solve climate change or biodiversity loss if you don't fix our relationship with water first. They're all tied together. So, the big question is, how do we fix this? While the report proposes a complete overhaul, a total rethink of the economic logic that governs water. This is how we've been doing it. First, we let the market fail. We let industries pollute or waste tons of water. And then, after the damage is already done, the government steps in to act as the market fixer, trying to clean up the mess. It's incredibly expensive, it's slow, and you never, ever get ahead of the problem. The shift they're calling for is profound. Instead of just reacting to problems, we need to be proactive. We need to actually design our economic systems, from farming to energy production, to value and protect water from the very start. And you can really see the difference here. On the left, you've got that old reactive model where every sector is in its own silo. But on the right is the new mission-driven approach. It's all about being proactive, getting different sectors to work together and focusing on real-world outcomes, like sustainability and justice, not just narrow outputs. And look, this whole mission-driven thing isn't just some abstract theory. The The report actually lays out 5 concrete, actionable missions to guide this whole transformation. And here they are. These 5 missions are incredibly ambitious, and they all connect. They're calling for a revolution in how we grow food, which, by the way, is the biggest user of water on the planet. They want to restore the natural habitats that generate all that precious green water. They're pushing for a circular water economy to stop waste, for smarter tech that uses less water, and, so crucially, to make sure every child has access to safe water. And underpinning all of this are 3 core principles that have to be treated as equals. In the past, economic efficiency pretty much always won out. The new model says, nope. It insists that efficiency, social equity, and environmental sustainability aren't trade-offs. You have to achieve them all together. And that leaves us with this final, really powerful question. The evidence is all there. Water isn't just some other resource. It's the foundational system that makes our climate, our ecosystems, and our economies even possible. So the question isn't if we need to change, but really, how quickly can we put water at the absolute heart of our economic future?